Hello, friends, and welcome back to the new episode of r/IDontWorkHereLady, and our first story with a name that speaks for itself. Mistaken for the tour guide at my own bachelorette dinner. My hubby and I were looking at wedding photos and were reminded of this. A wholesome IDWHL. Some background. I recently got married to my dear husband last January, before Corona exploded. My husband and I work in Japan, but we're both expats, so we kept our wedding guest list short and limited to our immediate family and close friends because our families would have to fly here just to attend. It's a big ask. My husband and I are also very introverted. We don't drink, we're not very fond of parties, and we're both very close to our immediate families. So we thought, instead of having a bachelor or bachelorette party, why not host a dinner for our respective families? We both agreed, and our families liked the idea too. They wanted to spend time with us on the last night before we were officially married. He and his family went to another restaurant, and me and mine to another. My family's composed of my parents, my brothers, and my sister-in-laws, my aunts, and my uncles. On to the scene. My family and I went to this Chinese restaurant at the hotel we were staying at. My family loves Chinese food, so we thought it was a great choice. We had a whole room reserved for our table, so we had some privacy. Because we were in a room, we had one head waitress who was the liaison between our party and the waitstaff. She spoke Japanese, and I could also speak Japanese, but my family could not. So I sat at the end of the long table so it was easier to talk to the staff. Because I did a lot of translating back and forth between my family and her, if she asked a question, I would translate for my family and relay the answers to her in Japanese. If my family had a question, it was the same deal. When the third dish was served, she came back to ask me a question about the fourth dish. Me is me, W is head waitress, bro is my brother. W. Should we serve the fourth dish individually, or should we let everyone decide how much to put on their plate? Me. Individually, please, thank you. W. Okay, she made a note in her order tablet. By the way, this party is for the wedding tomorrow, right? Me. Yeah, we're all really excited. Everyone flew in from another country, and it's been stressful, but it's finally tomorrow. W gestured to my brother and sister-in-law, who were coincidentally sitting at the center of the long table. Are they the lucky couple? They looked so good together. Me. I'm the bride-to-be. She was quiet for a full 20 seconds, and I felt so bad for her, so I just laughed it off. Me. But I agree, they do look good together. They've been married for a good 4 years already. She sighed, hopefully in relief. W. I'm sorry, I thought you were the tour guide. Me. It's okay, don't worry about it. Then she excused herself to take care of the fourth dish. Bro says, what was that all about? Is there a problem? Me. She thought you and your wife were the ones getting married tomorrow. Bro. Oh, you probably look like the tour guide for our group. Me. Yeah, that's what she said. Did I really look like a tour guide? Bro. I mean, everybody's paired off, you're the only one without a partner, and you're the only one who can speak Japanese. You've been talking to her about everyone's orders and basically running around. Me. I have. We told our family that conversation, and everybody had a good laugh. I made sure I went to talk to the head waitress afterwards to make sure she was all right, and she was. I also made sure I talked to the manager to let him know that his staff was exemplary. We don't give tips in Japan, but I would have tipped her so much if I could. Do I look like a bartender to you? I've read the stories, I've laughed, gotten angry, and sometimes teared up. I've regretted not having a story of my own to share. I don't know how I forgot this. Well, maybe there was some alcohol involved. Also, this took place 25 to 30 years ago. DH had a friend with hobbies. His hobbies had a tendency to take over his life for years at a time before he'd move on to another. He started a country music band. He added onto his house to build a room with a stage, a bar, half a bath, and a dance floor with room for tables. Completely done in unfinished wood, and you had to go through the master closet to get to the stairs for a while. Years later, this room was almost completely covered with a model train setup, but that's a story for a different sub. Friend and wife would host bring-your-own-bottle self-service parties on many Saturday nights, starting not before 9 p.m. You'd bring your case of beer, bottle of whiskey, or whatever, and your favorite mixers. He had his own commercial-capacity ice maker behind the bar, and as a general rule, everyone there knew someone in the band or was a date of someone. People would drink and dance and visit. This was not a sophisticated crowd. We were in jeans and cowboy boots, drinking and two-stepping to a guy singing songs about hot wiring the city truck and turning it over in the mayor's yard. The fanciest it ever got was a friend trying to teach a few of us how to line dance. One Saturday night, 11 p.m.ish, 3 people in their 20s that I'd never seen before came in, 2 guys and a blonde woman. They didn't greet anyone, not even a wave across the room, and sat at a table alone together. They were younger than the usual crowd, but didn't look underage or anything. Later on, after my husband and I finished our drinks, I took our glasses behind the bar to get refills. There were 3 or 4 other people behind the bar talking and or fixing their own drinks. While I was pouring our Jack and Cokes, the woman came over and asked me for a White Russian. I had no idea what that was, or most other named drinks. That's just stuff on TV. Plus, as a dry state at the time, there were only bring-your-own-bottle bars and none local. I was surprised she was asking me to share my supplies or steal from someone else. I'd seen them come in empty-handed, so I said, "If you'll point out where you put your stuff, I'll pass it to you." She didn't say anything else, at least not that I heard over the music, so I put my things away and headed back to our table. On the way, I stopped to ask a friend's wife if she knew any of them, which she didn't, and told her what had been said. By that time, the girl was back at the table drinkless. Between the drinking and dancing, I didn't see if any of them approached anyone else at the bar, and I never noticed any of them with a drink or visiting with anyone or even dancing. Nobody I asked later claimed to know them either. No way they were locals. It's that small of a town. I've always wondered if some state agency thought they might try to bust an unlicensed establishment that night. And our next story. When your entitlement gets you fired. This all started nearly a year ago, but I finally found the correct sub for it. I work in an office that incorporates a number of different departments for a medium-sized company. A 40-ish-year-old lady starts in the call center on Monday morning. She does not like that it's a call center and promptly quits just after lunch. I don't know what job she thought she'd signed up for, but that's it, she's gone. Then just a month later, the same name comes up, listed as a new starter in marketing. Specifically, a small part of marketing that takes customer inquiries. They are, for all intents and purposes, a call center. Their phones are literally routed via a skill set from the main call center. But being a marketing function, they have a pretentious title, Marketing Inquiry Executive. So that literally means it's their job to deal with inquiries about marketing. The executive part just means they do a thing. But of course, this doesn't faze our new hire, who's the same woman who left her previous job in the call center because she didn't want to work in a call center. On her first day, she parks in the closest space to the building, one of the disabled bays. She's asked to move her car by the receptionist, and our new hire replies, "I was told as it's my first day, I could take one of those spaces." I'm guessing her new manager meant one of the visitor spaces next to the disabled bays, but whatever. Now, allow me to describe the office parking situation. Directly outside the front door, there are 4 visitor spaces on one side with the 2 disabled bays, and on the other side, there are 6 spaces for high-level managers. All these spaces are clearly marked with paint on the tarmac and a sign about 2 feet high with either the person's name or visitor space 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. The main staff car park is adjacent, literally split from these spaces by a 4-foot wide path. You can usually get parked here if you arrive to work on time. If not, there's an overflow car park across the road. But again, less than 60 seconds walk to the front door of the building, even from its furthest corner. The next day, she's parked in a visitor space. We only have 4, and they're usually pretty busy. The staff car park is literally 4 feet of walking from the visitor spaces. She ignores the receptionist and leaves her car there all day. For the next few months, every time she's late enough to mean there's no space in the nearest car park, she either takes a visitor space or one of the manager's ones. More than once, she's made to move her car during the day as the manager is turned up and wants to park in their space. I and others make snarky comments to her every time we see her parking in a visitor space. "Just visiting today?" Or "I didn't know we could park here now," etc. Complaints are fired into her manager from all over the building, mainly reception, but she stops for a week or so, then does it again. She's also just the worst kind of person. She'll move other people's lunches out of the fridge to fit her own, then she'll steal cutlery to eat it. If someone with a closer space than hers goes out to lunch with their car, she'll run out and move hers to the closer space. She treats everyone in the office like dirt. I manage the IT help desk staff here, and more than once I have to remind her that my staff are her colleagues, not her servants. My favorite outburst of hers was when HR accidentally implemented a change that reverted everyone's email signatures back to their original job title. Of course, hers changed to customer service representative. She came storming over and laid into me. "I am a marketing executive," she half whispered, half shouted in that weird way Karens do. Eventually, she's told one more parking violation and she's going to be fired. I know this because she's bitching about it while taking a lunchtime walk into town with a colleague, and I'm walking behind. I'm not deliberately eavesdropping, but she has one of those shrill Karen voices. You just can't help but hear it, even with the headphones in. So this time, it's about 2 weeks later. She's late because she had to drop her son off at nursery. I mean, a lot of us do that every day with more than one child and manage to get in on time, but whatever. All the spaces in the closer car park are taken. Plenty just over the road. I can see out the front of the building from my desk. She sits at the junction and thinks about this decision. If she parks in a visitor space, she'll get fired. But how can she park in the overflow? She's an executive. This will be tantamount to admitting defeat. She can't park a Mercedes, bottom of the range A-class, 250 pounds a month, she proudly told me, in the overflow car park. So she does it. Visitor space. Her manager has come to look out of the window as well and intercepts her on her way in the door. 20 minutes later, she's back out of it. Her colleague volunteers to pack up her desk for her and drives over to her house at lunchtime to deliver her stuff. Because she was still in a probation period, it got extended for 3 to 6 months due to issues. She doesn't need to be given or paid any notice. Just gone. Amazing. Over parking. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.